He sets the time for birth and the time for death, the time for planting and the time for pulling up, the time for hurting and the time for healing, the time for tearing down and the time for building, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time for sorrow and a time for joy, a time for mourning and a time for dancing, a time to speak and a time to be silent.
When I was 6, that's when it got really bad. After multiple doctor's visits and just no one being able to figure out what was wrong with me, they finally diagnosed me with atopic dermatitis, as well as severe food allergies and environmental allergies.
In August of 2006, I was critically injured in a helicopter crash. My family was told that I would never walk again and that I would be paralyzed from the chest down.
In 2006, we were married, and we should not have gotten married. We were not a healthy couple whatsoever, but it was the next thing to do.
It's called interstitial pulmonary fibrosis, which is a disease of the lungs. No man in our family has lived past 62. After being first diagnosed, 3 to 5 years is a lifespan, and I'd been sick over a good 3.5, 4 years. So we just got prepared to die.
I had open wounds all over my body, and through those wounds, staph infections would then enter my bloodstream and hospitalize me just multiple times. They told me that I would suffer with this for the rest of my life.
We knew before we got married that we wanted to immediately start trying to have children, and we knew the chances were not as great for us because of his injuries and the severity of his injuries. And for nearly 2.5 years, we struggled with infertility. We thought we had an impossible story.
We were leading 2 separate lives, had separate friends. We were heading down the track to get separated. We got separate places.
You know, anytime I would get discouraged, I would just replace that with, you know, by his stripes I'm healed. I mean, Jesus went through so much more for me, and if he was able to do that for me and, you know, pay for my healing like that, then I'm healed.
At church we had a prayer for the nation. 2 families had gotten the same message that night to anoint me with oil, and so they anointed me with oil and prayed over me.
Last Easter, while I was sitting in church and Pastor James was talking, as I was sitting there, I heard God speak to me, and he said, "Relax, you will conceive and give birth to a healthy child."
That next Tuesday morning, I walked from the bedroom to the kitchen, and I'm standing here, and she turned around and she said, "What's the matter?" And I said, "I can breathe." That Thursday, I went to my pulmonologist. He moved the stethoscope front, back, front, back. He turned around and looked at Alice, and he said, "It's not here. It's gone. And I sit before you totally healed in the name of Jesus Christ."
We tried to fix things ourselves. We tried to do it on our own timing. We know that that's not the way to do it. God's timing is perfect. And then out of nowhere, God stepped in and gave us a child that truly started the process to heal our marriage.
2 weeks later, we found out that we were pregnant. And on January 5th, 2013, we gave birth to a very healthy 19-inch, 6-pound, 10-ounce little miracle.
Through the cross and by his blood, I've been completely healed. You know, I was just in complete awe because, you know, I was told that that would never happen.
What he went through on the cross and the terrible torture that he took on the way to the cross was for me, and it's for everybody if they'll just give him a chance.
You know, when you get to a point where you kind of lose hope, and then something unexplainable happens, you know, to give all that back to you, I don't know, it's amazing.